Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey. Two names that carry weight. Or used to. Depends on who you ask, or maybe even when you ask. The Dolphins aren't just poking at changes this offseason. They're practically tossing the match toward the gasoline. Everyone sees it, no one admits it. Yet, Hill, the so-called game changer, the cheetah, whatever title you want to slap on him, he's been moving through a rough patch that nobody really wants to talk about the way it should be talked about. Not just because of the wrist surgeries, yeah, 2 of them, confirmed by the man himself, but also the noise, the off-field static that keeps finding its way into the spotlight. Coast Guard incident. Really? A social media post turns into a headline, and suddenly the vibe shifts. Not just for fans. Inside that locker room, too. Now, here's the uncomfortable part. Hill's production dipped. Sure, you can blame the wrist. You can talk about the system. You can even dig into the quarterback's timing if you want to deflect. But everyone who watched the games knows something was off. The separation wasn't the same. The explosion? It flickered, then faded. And if we're being honest, does anyone really believe this guy is going to be the answer 3 years from now? 2. Even 1. So what now? Keep pretending everything's fine? Let the contract rot out while the chemistry does the same? That's the real question. And it seems like Miami's already quietly answering it. The front office isn't saying much, but the writing isn't just on the wall. It's flashing in neon. They're not planning around Tyreek like they used to. Not in the meetings. Not in the planning. Not in the heart of the rebuild talk. And then there's Jalen Ramsey, the big name with the big game and the even bigger paycheck. He came in with swagger, with that don't test me aura that Miami fans craved. At first, it clicked. There were moments, flashes, interceptions that made you stand up, lockdowns that made you believe. But there was also the contract. Always that contract. Fat, heavy, unforgiving. Now multiple teams are sniffing around. It's not a secret. They want him. They want what he can be, but not what he's owed. Miami? They're not budging on the guaranteed money. They don't want to eat a cent. So deals are stuck. Teams are tapping the brakes. And Ramsey? He's sitting in limbo, waiting for the Dolphins to blink. Except they're not blinking. Not yet. And maybe not ever. This thing is dragging. But there's a twist in the air. Attention. The Rams, yeah, those Rams. The ones who went all in on him once before and cashed out a Super Bowl. They're lingering in the background. Sean McVay, the head coach who never really let go of that connection, is watching. Word is, he wouldn't hesitate. If the numbers line up. If Miami drops the wall. And here's where it gets tricky. June 1st. That's the soft deadline nobody says out loud, but everybody circles. Because if a trade happens after that, Miami saves cap space. Suddenly, things shift. Suddenly, this waiting game makes a little more sense. The reports are already bubbling. Schefter's talking. Fowler's dropping details. People in the know are murmuring louder. That means something. Something's cooking. Not a maybe, a when. But again, what's the play here? If you're moving on from Hill and Ramsey, you're not just tweaking the roster. You're tearing off the old paint. You're signaling a full pivot. So what's the real plan? Draft capital? Cap flexibility? A new identity? Because if it's all about rebuilding, then say it. Own it. Don't straddle the line pretending it's business as usual. Fans feel the shift. They always do. Hill isn't the face of the future. And Ramsey? He's still elite on his day. But his day doesn't come as often. And the Dolphins? They don't seem interested in paying for what he used to be. Not anymore. So here we are. Miami, once the team trying to stack stars like cards in a deck, is now quietly reshuffling. Back then, it was about splash. Headlines. Fireworks. Now, it feels more like subtraction before construction. But are they ready for the fallout? Because moving on from names like this doesn't just shake up the depth chart. It shakes the fan base. It changes the tone. The stadium feels different. The expectations tilt. Players look around and wonder who's next. Coaches get quieter in pressers. The buzz fades. Unless the next move is already lined up. Unless there's a hidden ace. Another plan just waiting to unfold. You don't move on from Tyreek and Jalen without knowing what's next. Or do you? That's the gamble. That's the risk they're either ignoring or completely embracing. Maybe this front office sees something no one else does. Maybe they're just done with the noise. Or maybe they're bluffing, waiting for a team to crack and overpay, hoping someone gets desperate.